think we're looking for some magic potion or some trick or some aha moment, but the aha moment happens in the process of doing it. And whatever it is we're doing, that's where it happens, right? So we just got to get to the point where we are beyond ourselves and beyond the fear, and we understand that we want better. It's just that simple. um when I start to realize that, like even now in therapy, some of the first things we do for individuals, we talk about their nutrition, we talk about their physical activity, exercise, things like that. Those are the things, the healing points that we first start with before we go to all the science and the, you know, um, the theories and all the therapeutic approaches. Simply, we want to think about what we're eating. And do we have some physical activity? And the next component is, what type of mental exercises are we doing? Because a lot of this boils down back to the past on how we see ourselves, right? We are afraid of this thing called success. We are afraid of going through it. We want the end result. We're so fascinated, or we romanticize the end result, and that's okay because it generates the feeling of success. But we spend, them boys is talking to me today. They like, hey, they want to get on the mic. But we romanticize it. And again, that's okay to a degree, but at the same time, we just want the result. We don't want to go through the process, but the process of going through it is the fun part. That is the experience that we learn to appreciate, because it teaches us so much about ourselves in that process. It's like, when they always talk about people who win the lottery, within 4 years of winning the lottery, they're in a worse situation than they were. They're broke, essentially, because yeah, they may have won the money, but there was no mental change. They didn't change themselves. So we have to change ourselves in order to get to this particular point. We have to get to in order to get to this point of success, we have to change ourselves. And if we're a person, I was working with a client yesterday who was having a hard time working beyond something. They were super stressed and they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. And I'm like, hey, I got you. Excellent. But the truth of it is that this one situation is just the situation that we're going to experience this again. So what happens then? Are we gonna just so happen to work up the courage to work through it in that moment? No. I tell this all the time. Bad kids turn to bad people. And I'm not saying bad kids in the old tradition, but kids who are not trained and developed to become good people they don't just grow out of that. You have to become that. So when we want to be content creators, stop saying things such as, oh, I'm not into this content creation stuff. No, if you're doing it, you are a content creator. It is just that simple. Start claiming it. That's what claiming it is. But a lot of us, myself included, my wife had to correct me the other day. I was talking about me wanting to do a video. She said, Chris, you do content. Stop acting like that. And she had to check me. And I'm like, yo, that's what's up. I needed that. Because we have to claim it. And a lot of us feel insecure about what we're doing. And we're looking for that social approval. And that's why I go back to learning to remove the attachment to other person's perspective about yourself. Once you learn to remove that, it is an extreme superpower. You are off to the races. So, but in order to get to that point, you just have to do it. You just start doing it and realize that no one is really thinking about you. Move, Black. Sorry. Go Black. Okay. He just want to be a part of it. Sorry. But no one is thinking about you. No one is overly thinking about you. Like, oh man, what is Chris doing today? I wonder, and if they are, they have their own problems that they need to deal with and work on, because most of our attention should be focused on ourselves, not in a self-indulge concept, but rather in the space of how can I develop and improve myself today? How can I be true about where I am in terms of my fears? How can I say, you know what, Chris, it is time to work beyond that. You say you want to be this, content creator, you want to influence people, you want to help people get to a certain stage of life, then you have to become that and stop worrying about what other people may think about you. And once we get to that point, we go there. It is an absolute superpower. right? When I first started, when I was working with the brain, and then I started telling people this kid from the, this side of town is working with the brain, and you see this, what? And it's like, yeah, boom. And then you start to see it evolving and growing into now people who recognize me, we speak, and then they say, hey man, I need to get with you about the brain stuff. Oh, cool, excellent, for sure. Hit me up. Got you. But that's the thing. I had to first see myself as, I used to say my affirmation was, and I'll tell you guys, but I didn't tell a lot of people during the development of it because I had to first believe it, and I'll talk about that in another video. But I used to say to myself, Chris, you are the best sports performance neurotherapist in the United States of America. And that was my affirmation. So every time I was working out, every time I was working with a client, every time that I was seeing myself do this, my affirmation would go, Chris, you are the best sports performance neurotherapist in the United States of America. How does that feel? And one kid said, and I told them my affirmation. One kid said, Chris, how do you know you're the best? I said, that's a great question. I said, see, my goal isn't to be better than the next person, because I'm probably not the best absolute neurotherapist in the United States, but my whole competition is being better than myself. I'm hyper focused on how can I improve myself. That's what I focus on. So, and it doesn't have to be some major change. It could be incremental. It could be super small. It can be, hey, I recorded, like last week, I recorded 3 videos that's posting this week. That's better. That's fire from going once a week, then once every 2 months, because that was my trend. So, but I know I have something to say. I know that I have something to provide to the community. I'm 38 years old. I still find myself pretty young in terms of mentally, and I know some things. I'm in that space where I'm the bridge from the youth to the older generation. I think my generation of people have a nice space. So anyway, we just got to do it. Do it. Do it to failure, and press play on the camera, go get that gym membership, right? Start eating healthier. You guys think, oh, at this time I'm going to do it. But really that's the fear. And the more that happens, the more the stress comes, the more you say, I got to do it. Then the lower self-esteem start to creep in, is you'll never do it. So the thoughts about ourselves start to eat up at us. That's it. So that's the thing. If you like this type of content, please subscribe to the channel, hit a like button, share with a friend, and let's just communicate and let's build this thing. So if you got any questions about mental health, stress related things, brain health, and those type of things, please let me know in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Peace.